All people who consume artificial sweeteners die. In the past 20 years, there have been multiple studies come out that have shown a correlation between artificial sweeteners and some bad health effects. But for the average person that's reading those studies, they don't understand the correlation, and it can be presented as a causation. In other words, instead of artificial sweeteners might be associated with something, the way it's presented is artificial sweeteners cause problems. They've been said to be associated with obesity, and people think they cause obesity. We mix up the difference between correlation, which means these things are happening at the same time, but they're not directly related, and causation, meaning A occurred, which caused B to occur. One way of saying this would be all people who consume artificial sweeteners die. Now, if you're not careful, you'll hear that as saying
artificial sweeteners cause death.
But that is not what that statement says. It's just simply making two true statements. Everyone who consumes artificial sweeteners is going to die, but they didn't cause that. That's a little blurb on causation and correlation. No study has shown a conclusive cause and effect between artificial sweeteners and poor health outcomes. There's been no causation shown. Here's one thing I want you to be careful of. When someone makes a blanket statement that says
artificial sweeteners are bad for you,
one thing I want you to understand is that of the, I haven't counted them all, but the 12 to 15 or so artificial sweeteners or sugar substitutes out there, I want you to understand that all of them have a different chemical structure. That means they're all different things. And so when someone tells you all of the things in this category, which are all different, all cause the same problems, you should recognize that there's a major logic problem there, because we don't believe that about anything else. If we said
all automobiles can tow an RV,
we inherently know that's not true. We know that only certain automobiles equipped with the right size engine and the right tow package can tow the RV. So when people say all artificial sweeteners cause health problems, right away you know that that person or that entity or that article or that blog doesn't know what it's talking about. Therefore, my comment to you is, if you need something sweetened, learn to like it with one of the artificial sweeteners, one of the sugar substitutes, and try to limit or reduce or eliminate your sugar intake as much as possible. If a particular sugar substitute causes you a problem, by all means, don't use it. But that would go the same for any food that you consume whatsoever. And if you pay attention to some of my other videos where we've talked about ultra-processed foods and other kinds of food ingredients that give us problems, then you'll understand that anything we take into our body can cause us a problem. That means it's a problem for you at that time, and you can't universalize it out to everybody. The final little comment I want to make about artificial sweeteners, they've been used worldwide, showing up in more and more products all the time. In other words, the total dose of artificial sweeteners is in the billions at this point. So if there was a identifiable particular problem oriented at the artificial sweeteners, then logic tells us it would have shown up by now, and it's simply not showing up. What is showing up is problems from sugar and problems from ultra-processed foods. And while I agree that artificial sweeteners are in the category of ultra-processed, it is not true that all ultra-processed food is harmful. And you can pay attention to some of my other videos for learning and being able to discern which ultra-processed foods we might want to stay away from and which ones we might want to choose selectively. Bottom line, sugar's the problem. If you can't get off of it, that's your place to start.